Hotel, and a lot of people before they booked thought it was just your average hostel with great prices. There were also numerous deaths, suicides, and violent incidents, violent guests. So Elisa's missing person case, one thing that was a huge deal was a viral video of her in the Cecil Hotel. She was going in and out of the elevator. It was just super eerie. One of the staff, he goes up to check the water tanks on the roof. Long story short, they find Elisa's body in there. Hey guys! So last week I did a cool video where I reviewed the movie Girl in the Basement, and it was based on the true life story of Joseph Fritzl, or the true crime story. I had fun doing that, so if you haven't watched that one, check it out. But this week I thought I would do something kind of similar. I'm sure a lot of you have watched the Netflix documentary in the Hotel Cecil. Cecil Hotel? The Cecil Hotel. So anyways, it was a pretty good documentary. It was like 4 episodes or something, and it was based on the story of Elisa Lam and the hotel itself. Elisa Lam was a 21-year-old student from Vancouver, and she went on a trip by herself back in 2013. She stayed in the Cecil Hotel, and a lot of people before they booked thought it was just your average hostel with great prices, but it was in a very bad area of downtown Los Angeles, essentially Skid Row. Part of the building was housing for the homeless or struggling drug addicts. All these sketchy characters stayed in this hotel. So Elisa's missing person case, one thing that was a huge deal was a viral video of her in the Cecil Hotel. She was going in and out of the elevator. It was just super eerie. Back before I was even in the YouTube game, all these YouTubers and conspiracy theorists were posting their 2 cents about what they thought happened to Elisa Lam. So not only was there an investigation by the actual police, there was also all these people online who wanted to figure out what happened to the girl. And the last time people saw her, she was staying in the Cecil Hotel. And this place has legends and just deaths and scary stories. So let's talk a bit about the Cecil Hotel. It originally opened in 1924, and it was a middle-class hotel in downtown Los Angeles. You know, you see pictures of the lobby, it looks pretty cool. Eventually it became a budget hotel or hostel, so you can share rooms, and it became a rooming house. Generally it was a place for sex workers, drug addicts, and homeless people to go. It was a cheap place for them to have extended stays. About it, you're a hotel guest and you're coming to stay there, and you're sharing an elevator with a homeless person or someone who's really high on drugs and acting erratic. In the documentary on Netflix, they were talking to one couple who had a first-hand scary experience during this whole Elisa Lam missing persons case. They got a great room, right? And the lobby looks great in the pictures, but they left out the part about who you're gonna be sharing the hotel with and all the bad stuff that happened here. There were also numerous deaths, suicides, and violent incidents, violent guests, some of which you probably have heard of, the Night Stalker Richard Ramirez. I am actually going to pull out my laptop here because I didn't even hear about all of these deaths and terrible incidents that happened at the Cecil Hotel. You can go online and there is a list, at least 16 sudden or unexplained deaths. A lot of these were suicides. So from 1927 until 2015. In 1964, there was a man who was murdered, stabbed, beaten, and raped. Sorry, it was a woman who was nicknamed Pigeon Goldie because she used to feed birds in the nearby square. A lot of these fell from the building. Some were ingested poisons. In 1939, a Navy officer, Neblett, was found dead in his room after ingesting poison. Someone even committed suicide in 1934 by slitting his own throat. But even a newborn baby was sadly discarded from the window. This whole list of things is just the tip of the iceberg. Like I said, Richard Ramirez, a serial killer who's killed so many people, was staying there. All of that being said, I can only imagine all of the spirits or ghosts that are living in that hotel. If the hotel was open, I believe they closed it for renovations or something. I definitely would go take my chances and stay there just to check it out because I'm into history and creepy stuff like that. So they actually said that Richard Ramirez was only paying $14 a night for his room, and once he even walked in there with bloodstained underwear or something. Not only him, another serial killer that I'm not so familiar with named Jack Unterweger. He lived there in the early 90s. So he served a prison sentence in Austria for killing a young German woman, and then he came to America. He stayed at the Cecil Hotel. He wrote an article about the red light district when he was in America, and then he went on a killing spree of sex workers. In the documentary, there's also a dude who used to party at the Cecil Hotel back in the day, and this older gentleman just explained that anything above the 6th floor, you didn't want to go there. It was just sketch central. Kenneth Gibbons was the long-term resident that was saying this stuff, and he said it was lawless above the 6th floor, especially back in the 80s when he was living there, or at least that's when he remembered it. He said people would get killed doing drugs and killing each other over drugs. There was like over 10,000 homeless people over time living there. Later on, I believe in the early 2000s, they changed the name to Stay on Main so that they wouldn't be as associated with these horrible deaths and all the incidents that happened here. Also made the housing for the homeless people separate. The tourists get to stay in one area of the hotel or hostel, they stay in the other. But the only downfall is I believe they still had to share an elevator. So now let's talk a little bit about Elisa Lam. I do remember seeing this video because it was circulating all over the web. She was in the elevator going in and out, pressing all the buttons. It looked like she kept peeping out, like someone was chasing her. People only had this video in her Tumblr account to go by. She was only 21. You would think that maybe someone else murdered her. After seeing this scary video and it going viral, a lot thought that she was murdered or she got involved with some sketchy people. And that video were her last moments of life. To me, when I saw it, it didn't look like you're just running from someone. She was acting erratically. They didn't have any leads to an actual murder, but they also never found Elisa. In the documentary, not to get too in depth, like you can watch it for yourself. Eventually, this couple that was staying there that's in the documentary, they noticed something was gross with their water. I think the water was brown, it tasted weird. They were complaining about it. They'd been drinking from this water, mind you. They reported to the hotel. One of the staff, he goes up to check the water tanks on the roof. Long story short, they find Elisa's body in there, floating. She's been dead for a long time. And that was the water going into the hotel. There's a lot of little details that didn't add up and people were still thinking, who did this? They actually found Elisa Lam's body. They were able to find out more things about her. They did find she had a lot of mental health issues. She was actually struggling with severe bipolar disorder. I believe she was prescribed 4 or more medications. Talked about her struggles with her mental illnesses on her Tumblr as well. This all showed that she was struggling with her own mental illness. There were complaints from the hotels, even her behavior with girls that she was sharing a room in the hostel with, leaving them weird notes. Also pointed to the fact that she was likely missing some of those bipolar medications or not taking them. So not everyone with bipolar disorder will experience psychosis, but if it's severe, you might. And this could lead to delusions, hallucinations, just all types of erratic behavior. Elisa Lam wasn't taking her medications. This could have just been what was happening in those creepy elevator videos. Her sister even confirmed that Elisa definitely had these erratic episodes before, especially when she wasn't taking her medication. All of these clues, police to deem her death as accidental. The toxicology reports and what was going on with her mentally all pointed that was just her own mind playing tricks on her. Essentially what you get from the documentary and what you find out about the Elisa Lam case at the Cecil Hotel is that they think she was having one of these episodes and it was really bad. She was having hallucinations, which was what was causing this behavior on the elevator. She went to the roof of the hotel and somehow ended up getting into the water tank. She could have thought that someone is chasing her, someone's after her. One thing that I didn't like about the documentary, don't know if it was just the last episode, too much time was dedicated to the internet sleuths still trying to say that it was a murder. I believe that her bipolar issues and mental struggles were very confirmed. Nevertheless, the video and the entire story is very tragic and scary. I'm all one for ghost stories, but I think this was just a sad incident. But it still doesn't discredit all the scary things that happened at the Cecil Hotel. It's just another tragedy that the hotel has to add to their long list of incidents. Altogether, I like the documentary. I wanted to see what happened. It was seriously interesting. If you haven't, I would definitely say watch it, but beware, at the end there's a lot of conspiracy theories. All right guys, so that wraps it up for my video. Next week, maybe I should talk about the Night Stalker. You guys let me know down in the comments and I will see you all next Sunday in a brand new video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye guys.